Okay, on to match two. We've lost match one against Pile. Match two, we win the die roll, and we see this is a pretty solid hand. Interaction, couple of lands, and a cantrip. So we don't need to cantrip for more lands unless we start seeing wastelands appear. Okay, and unfortunately, our first ponder sees nothing of any value. And it looks like we're against a Chalice deck. So fortunately, with the exception of the fact that we just drew a Dark Ritual, we actually have a pretty good hand against Chalice of the Void. We have a couple of Cabal Rituals and some 1-drop spells, so we should be able to build Threshold for the Cabal Rituals reasonably well. So all we really need to do, hopefully, is find a tutor. Okay, so we're worried about Thought-Knot Seer there when they tap out for 4 mana. That's usually a bad sign. And a Thought-Knot Seer would do some real damage here. Fortunately, it's just an endless one. And so we're going to keep just throwing our 1-drop spells into just into the Chalice there. We've got no good reason not to. This is almost definitely a Thought-Knot Seer now. There we go. So he'll take a Cabal Ritual from us. That's actually not the end of the world, given we've managed to find 3 out of 4. And we can see this is the Eldrazi post deck. So this isn't normally particularly terrible for us. They have too many mana rocks and not enough threats in my experience. However, obviously they're off to a pretty brutal start this time. So now if we draw a tutor next turn, we have Threshold and we can kill him. We get Threshold just by sacrificing the Petal there. And that's the Smasher, so that is currently 13 damage on board. So once again, we're still not dead, but it's not looking great. And we can scoop it up there. So we're going to cut a Past in Flames. We'll bring in Empty. We're going to cut Therapies. We cut Therapies as they can't reliably hit lock pieces. They do hit their creatures. But I think we're more worried about their lock pieces, and we want to, if we're going to have discard, we want to be able to reliably take them. We'll bring in our Hercules. We'll bring in all our interaction with all our board interaction. So 2 Echoing Truths, 2 Hercules, 2 Decays, all of which will just take care of their lock pieces more than anything else. That's the only thing we care about. I think we can keep and probably Duress on turn 1. And hopefully they just have like a single Chalice or something. And we're in luck. So they're going to have a turn to Thought-Knot. And that's an interesting draw, but not amazing. We're going to have to put the tutor on top. So we're currently working out if we put Abrupt Decay and Echoing Truth on top, whether or not we can go off this turn. So we go Dark Ritual 3 mana, Duress 2 mana, giving us 4 cards in the graveyard. So 2 mana, 3 mana, 4 mana. We'll have 2 after the tutor. So we can't get Thresholded this turn, so unfortunately we can't just go for it. So I think perhaps we should Duress this turn just in case. So I thought Nazi is going to come down and probably take Dark Ritual. And it's going to go on to put us on a 2-turn clock here. Oh, sorry, 3-turn clock. So this is why we should have fired off the Duress this turn. I think we then could have... Okay, so I guess we need to Echoing Truth after the Abrupt Decay. So Abrupt Decay first, Echoing Truth second. So I think perhaps we stacked our brainstorming correctly. So I think we'll decay probably... We should probably decay his dude here. Just because we need to get the decay out of hand. Hope that whatever we draw next turn is castable. Or a land now. We need a land. So we can top deck a land, which we do. We can bounce the Thorn end of his turn. And then we have to hope that we draw something. And unfortunately, Hercules is the one card that we don't want to draw. If we go Cabal Ritual, that gives us 3 6 mana, 5 mana for Hercules, 3 mana for Infernal Tutor. So unfortunately, that's now left us out of the game. So I think that's one of the very few things we could have drawn. So removal spells, one of our 3 remaining removal spells, are I think about the only things that we didn't want to see. We're going to try it anyway, you never know, maybe they'll scoop. But no, they have to concede.